Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. I hope you are having a fantastic day and after this practice you will feel even better. Today we're going to practice a very simple design with some nice patterns at the end. You know that I love this practice because they're very approachable, regardless your age, your skills, artistic backgrounds, everybody can successfully do this practice. I propose these easy and approachable practices with markers because I want to expand the benefit of art process, right? And under this umbrella, we have a very different techniques and practices, some of which requires very fine motor skills, very specific skills, and for which we need to train a little more, such as drawing practices, watercolors, mixed media, coloring pencil. And you will find many of these in my YouTube channel if you want to also improve your artistic skills, knowledge of our elements and principle of art and design, and you want to kind of has some technical instructions, but these practices are for everybody to build this beautiful space together online, these beautiful communities of children, teenagers, adults, seniors, family in practice all together, homeschooling students practicing with their parents or whoever is in charge of their homeschooling, and they are just wonderful because they are not intimidating. They will allow you to relax, to feel no stress, no pressure, no competition, to truly focus on the process, being very focused, being very present, and gaining skills even while you don't notice. So for today's practice, you need your art journal or mixed media paper, regular tip black Sharpie, fine tip black Sharpie or any brand, alcohol markers. I use the Shuttle Art and you can buy them on Amazon or in their website. You can use any brand. You can use regular markers. It doesn't truly matter. If you don't want to do the design directly with the Sharpie on the paper because it is very permanent and you cannot fix it, change it, or erase it, you can follow my gesture and my instructions and do it with pencil and then go over with the black Sharpie so you're 100% sure about the direction of your lines and the shapes that you are creating. Today we also focus on a very warm color palette. I will let you know exactly what are the colors that I'm using, just in case you're using the Shuttle Art like me, but feel free to also make changes. You can use any colors in the warm side of the color palette because that is the intention and the focus of today's practice. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment how it goes. Let me know if you have any questions. Support this channel by becoming a member so you have early access and also prefer access to our conversation and dialogue through comments and messages so I can see yours immediately and I can answer you because I love to create these connections and these sense of communities that otherwise without interaction there would not be any. And what else? Nothing, just let's have fun and set some time and some space for Art with Ms.B. I'm going to switch the camera so we can start. Okay friends, let's start this very simple design in which we are going to focus on a very warm color palette. I have been missing the sun a little bit, so this is the perfect practice. Now you can do my lines with the pencil if you don't feel super comfortable because you know that you can erase the pencil while you cannot erase the Sharpie, or you can keep this Sharpie like the regular tip and do what I do, okay? Just proceed with care and very slow. So we are going to start by doing like a semicircle, so very nice curved line. We are going to double the line, and then for our third, we are going to do a beautiful wavy line. Don't make the wavy too like thick, like too busy, but just make it nice and relaxed. And we keep going, and we're gonna fulfill the whole space like such, with such lines and shapes. 1, 2, and then of course we are going to have some overlapping, right? And then be spontaneous in the way that you position your shapes. Don't overthink it, but just do what you feel. It's a very as you see, we're working with two different type of lines, like curve and wavy. Beautiful exercise for boosting your ability to do beautiful and high quality lines. Lose up your fine motor skills. At the same time, learn how to fulfill the space. So every time that we have a limited space, right, and we need to fulfill it with different patterns and design, that is one step forward into our understanding of the element of space, right? When we decide how many, how few, how big, how small, right? And because the design will go, I want to fill it all the way, and this will be the wavy from 1 and from 2. Perfect. Now we can put this aside, and I'm gonna work with a very warm but still particular color palette that reminds me a little bit like one of my grandmother wallpaper in the probably it was one from the late 60s, but she kept it all the way into the 70s. I'm gonna use my 103 potato brown, 31 dark yellow, 22 French vermilion if you're using a Shuttle Art markers. Other brand might have a similar names with different numbers or similar numbers with different names, but this is what we are going to use. And I'm going to start from my brown potatoes because the shapes are not very detailed, so small. I'm gonna use my thick tip. Just remember, maybe you can go around the edges of the shapes and outline them, so you're gonna make sure that you stay inside, that you do not accidentally color outside the shapes. Now, if you truly do not like the same colors that I'm using, remember, you have to make your own choices, right? Look at what you have available, depending on the brand and the type of markers. And I just invite you to stick to a warm palette. So we learn also at the end of the practice how analogous colors, which means that they sit next to each other on the color wheel, and in this case on the warm side of the color wheel, they truly interact, and why and how and if they work well for our design, and what is the type of feeling and mood that we have at the end of this practice together. It is important, as I always say to my students, even the simpler practice, and I try my best to propose practice that don't feel intimidating. Then of course sometimes, because I love to teach you more technical stuff, you will find some practice with watercolors, with drawing or mixed media that is indeed a little more complicated, but nothing that we cannot face together. But for this type of practice, the markers art therapeutic, I want to make sure that everybody feel that can do the practice with me and feel comfortable, stress-free and successful. I invite you to, if you are ready, if you don't have it already, to buy yourself a beautiful journal, thick mixed media paper, so you can do all the practice and keep it together. And then once you finish the journal, you can scroll back and see all the beautiful patterns that you were able to create and make a reflection of those. For example, the reflection about the element of lines and colors and patterns. Other technique that we have been learning, overlapping, sizing, right, spacing, positioning, and ask yourself what you know now that you didn't know before. And it's beautiful. You can even do reflection, written reflection on the back of each design that we do together, because remember that it is very important, right, to reflect. The more we reflect on what we do, the better and the more we learn, because we bring the practice not only to a superficial level, but we kind of go and investigate deeper and deeper. I'm going to do these two also here, and then here probably I will use this leftover space. So at the end, the whole space will be colored just by using these three colors. Now I'm gonna break it with something very, very bright, which is my French vermilion, which is a dry, nice dark orange. And once again, I'm going to use my thick tips just because it's easier. But if you feel a little more comfortable by using the small one, please go ahead and do so. If you want to dedicate a little longer time to coloring today, that is perfect. And you can go as fast as I'm going, you can go slower, you can pause the video. Just remember, if you feel that you're rushing because you need to stay keep up with me, pause the video, do not rush, or maybe play it at a slower time, speed, sorry, whatever you need to do, but just don't rush. This is your like a quick weekly, if not daily, art practice that will bring a smile on your faces, that will let you forget about some issues and troubles, that will let you stop for a second to think about yourself and your well-being. Very nice. I already feel warmer by looking at these colors. Today was very weird April day, like it was yesterday was very bad. We got a little bit of snow, and again it was cold and windy and rainy. Today it is better, there is some sun, but there's some clouds, still wind, so it's a little chilly, and I truly needed something warm. Not that I do not like a winter, don't get me wrong, I love actually the passing of the season. It's just that we had many beautiful and very warm days, so my body and my mind were already used to, and it is difficult, and it is a little tricky to go back. So art definitely can boost your moods and can make you feel a little better, even when you acknowledge that your mood is a little bit all over the place. Now, our last color is this dark yellow. So I want to brighten it, but not too much. As I say, I got inspired from one of my grandmother's crazy wallpaper. Let me tell you, in the 60s and the 70s, they have this super colorful and super patterned wallpaper that were something for sure. And these colors, such as very, very warm brown, oranges, gold, dark yellow, were very prominent. And I spent so many days, so many years, and beautiful memory, my grandmother's and my grandfather's house, that of course, even when I do not immediately go back there with my mind and with my memories, still I feel that they are embedded in me, and so they come out spontaneously even when I choose a color palette for my design or design itself. I love to hear the noise of the markers on the paper when they work well. When the markers are about to run out of ink and they get a little dry, maybe that noise, mostly when some of my students press really hard and you have the squiggly noise. But this one, instead of a marker just like smoothly going on the paper and create a mark that is going to be permanent. Sometimes we do not think about how powerful is the act of working on a white piece of paper and turning into something that it was not before and it will never be again. Because when we use when we use pencil, we know that we can erase, right? We know that they can fade away with the time. So the mark that we want to imprint on the paper is a little less permanent, right? It's a little more gentle and delicate. That sometimes is exactly what we want to do. But when we do this type of practice, we truly want to have a bold statement on the paper. And we are using permanent supplies, right? Permanent media. So they stay on that paper. And this paper was white until a few minutes ago, and now it's showing a pattern, is showing lines, is showing colors of some kind, and it will show even more details in a second. And those will stay forever. So that's something powerful. And here, and I just found out that I forgot a tiny little corner, and I'm gonna go back to my brown because that would be the first part of that pattern and the shape, and now it's all done. And now fine motor skills, exercise, building muscle and building patience, and we are going to do our pattern. If you need to move the journal and I might need to move it for a pattern, do so. And remember, find your rhythm. We're going to first proceed with this type of straight lines, but they will follow the shape and the direction. So they are following the arch. Okay, so let's try and do your best to make these lines as precise as possible and as close to each other as possible. If there are tiny little mistakes, such as that two lines overlap, so you have a little bigger gaps, do not worry. At the end, it will barely impact your design. And remember that we are not here to reach the perfect result and to copy each other's design, but we are here for the process, for taking a break and putting ourselves in the condition and giving ourselves the opportunity to do something with our hands, to exercise our creativity, to boost our fine motor skills, brain-hand coordination skills, to have some fun with colors, to embellish our journals and therefore embellish our lives. This is the main goal, the first and the last goal of these practices, right? We're not here studying how to do the Mona Lisa. That is also an amazing opportunity. You know, like if you are such an artist, it's fantastic because each one of us has a different path. We have different talents and we want to experience different things and also same things but on a different levels. But everybody can do art. It's like in the movie Ratatouille, right? Everybody can cook. I agree. It's a very democratic concept in which not everybody has to be an artist in order to practice art. And not everybody needs to study and practice art in order to become a professional artist or to be acclaimed by others, right? We can include, and we should, in fact, include art and fine craft in our daily life. When humans did it in the past, I feel that we got a better community, better society, better relationship within ourselves and with others. So probably that is something that we need to change. We need to change in the narrative and the attitude about arts, mostly visual arts. If you need to go slower, go slower. Remember, you can finish after me, and if I finish before you in the video, pause the video and give yourself time to do things well, and not just because you want to be done and you want to check a little box, because we're not here checking boxes, right? And we are the owner of our time, and we are in a position of power, the power to choose how to spend this time. And if we choose to spend it in doing something that help our mental health, emotional health, we definitely support our general well-being, right? Remember to breathe deeply. And if you think that you need to take a little break because your hand is hurting, you can. If you want to insist, and all that little bit of the, soreness and slight pain, it's a wonderful, fantastic exercise for your muscles as well. And the more you exercise, the better, right? Mostly nowadays, for our kids, but also adults, we do a lot of things on the computer which we're using our hands, just differently and not all the way. Instead, when we embrace a pen, a markers, and a brush, the movements and the muscles that is included is, the whole muscle of our hands, and it's such a beautiful and important exercise. We don't need to forget skills just because we are getting new ones, right? We are going to learn and master the new ones, but we are going to also cultivate and keep up with all skills that are naturally embedded in our human nature. So they are God-given skills that we should never lose, forget, or ignore. Perfect. Now we're gonna start to fulfill this pattern inside, and we can start from different direction. I will use a very curvy line. Once again, we try our best to make these lines as close as possible, but if you are a very young artist or a beginner and you're not familiar still with all these type of lines and patterns, you can make them a little farther apart. What is an important suggestion is that don't do something like this, but curve the beginning and the end, right? You want it nice and curved. So just close that curve with your lines. If you want, you can keep them all in the same direction, or you can switch. I'm going to switch direction so you can see also the way that it will look, and then you can make your decision, or you can just follow along with me. And you can use these lines, because they're all the same, to find your pace and your rhythm, and you can help yourself to breathe and do boxing breathing. For example, I breathe in while I trace 3 lines, Then I hold while I trace 3 lines, and then I release my breath in the following 3 lines. And you kind of rhythm yourself and you bring yourself in a very meditative state. Don't be too concerned about the directions. Let the pattern and the shapes guide you. Relax and follow the shapes and the patterns that you are creating, and you will do great. To shake your hands, shake your hands. You need to take a little break, take it, and then back. It is incredible how just some very thin lines can truly change the design and bring so much movement, right? And a completely different feeling and sense of rhythm if we want. A little bit over here. And here. And now our final touches, and I probably will move my design on the side because it's easy for me and also for you to see. Now we are going to follow this line. So this one is a little tricky and we're going to do it a little slower. We are gonna follow the wavy line that we traced with the thick markers, and now we are doing thinner wavy lines. We don't need to do as many as we did for the straight lines and the curved lines, just something to embellish this part, otherwise it will feel neglected, and to add the final touch. On this beautiful, warm, cozy, and a little 70s style design. And we keep going. This one is an excellent exercise for our fine motor skills, right? And I hope that if this is your first time practicing with me, you will subscribe and peruse around the many videos. And I hope that you will keep practicing art with me and by yourself, just because it's something that truly impacts our life in a beautiful and positive way. And we need to be able to do everything in our power during our physical life to take care of ourselves, take care of our body, our minds, work hard on all of our skills to keep them nice and sharp as long as possible. And art is the best because we do all of it and more while also having fun. If you cannot trace the line in one time, you can also proceed and break the line, right? Of course, if you can, that would be the best exercise for coordination and fine motor skills. But if you need to stop and break the lines and make it in 2-3 parts, do you. And don't feel that you're incapable just because you need to break the line. Absolutely. We always learn in different time, different way, different paces, and it's all okay. As long as we are focusing on what we are doing and we do it with the right intention. Mostly these very long ones, if you feel that you need to break the line, break it, and you can use segmented lines. So you will stop and then you will do one, and then, you know, taking tiny little break between the waves. And if you want to try and make it in one line, and your lines are not as like mine, so they're maybe they go in the wrong direction, it doesn't matter. Finish the design completely, and then is going to be worth it. First, because even with all imperfection and defect, probably your design will be even more beautiful than mine, because when we add personality to things, right, and there is no one way, one beauty, right? These standards are now so much more flexible than in the past, thanks to many artists to work hard to break some of the very rigid rules and make sure that now we interpret the standards in different way. Now over here, just because I only see a fraction, I will probably do just straight lines like that, and on this one instead I will proceed over here like this. And now my final big wave. Well, this probably would have been a fantastic wallpaper design in the 60s and 70s, because they loved, people back then loved this very busy pattern. This is definitely a statement that we did on this paper today. And our design is all done, and look how pretty it is. So much movement, something simple, different type of lines, a beautiful warm strong palette, extra fine sharpies to add all this rhythm and movement. I hope you have fun, and I see you very soon with another. Ciao.